We are moving right along in our series on basic stamping ideas that will eventually advance to advanced stamping ideas. And today we're going to start with the double stamp. So I'm grabbing this plate that was from Bundle Monster back then, and I just wanted to show you a couple plate designs. Like this pattern would be great for a double stamp. And what we do is go in, make sure everything is clean. I always clean all my plates with acetone when I'm finished with them, but I do, before I stamp again, go back in and double check. I've already prepped my nails, and I'm going to go ahead and cleanse them with isopropyl alcohol, just with a cotton ball or a lint-free pad, whatever works for you. I am going to grab several colors. These are all going to be grays. I jokingly was going to call this a 50 Shades of Grey Manny, but it's more like a 50 Shades of Jill's skin tone, because my camera went psycho and would not give me an even skin tone. So as this video goes on, you're going to have a hard time telling if I'm incredibly white or a Latina or what's going on, because this skin tone is all over the place today. It's crazy. I am going to go in with Peel Off Basecoat. I talked about this very thoroughly in my last video for a single stamp, which this is just kind of building on what we're learning. So consider this kind of a beginner's course to walk through everything. We're going to start super easy, and they're going to get harder and harder as we go along. Now, with Peel Off Basecoat, the thinner the coat is, the longer it will last. The thicker you put it on, the faster it will pop off. I'm going to go in now with Luna from Maniology. As a base coat on all of these nails, it is a one coat polish. You have to apply it carefully, but once you apply it carefully, you can have it in one coat. There have been arguments before on the Maniology forums about whether or not this is a nail polish. I'm sarcastically air quoting, even though you can't see it, a nail polish, since it is labeled as a stamping polish. The biggest difference between a quote-unquote nail polish and a stamping polish is that stamping polishes generally tend to have more pigment in them, and they are set to dry fast. That's the difference. That's it. They have more pigment. Now, I'm all about being fair and being completely honest, and I will always try to tell the truth as I know it. When I'm wrong, I'll tell you. But in this situation, the pamphlet that comes with the Mani by Me box very clearly says that their polishes can be used as nail polish, even though they are formulated for stamping. Now, can you use regular nail polish to stamp? Yes. There are lots of stamping polishes out there that lots of people enjoy, like Sally Hansen Insta-Dry. I personally do not like those for stamping. Sinful Colors creme polishes are very good for stamping, and there are several people who said some different metallics are great for it. I prefer to use stamping polishes because they are much more pigmented. But you can use what's in your budget, what you can afford, and what works for you. Because here's the big secret about nail art and stamping. What works for me may not work for you. I could love a product and it doesn't work on you. My nails are incredibly stubborn. My nails are incredibly picky. Y'all, gel polish will chip and peel off of my nails, no matter how perfect I apply it. Some things just don't work with some people, and that's okay. It's okay. So now that I'm off my soapbox, let's get back to this. I went very much into detail about how to paint your nails nice and easy in my first stamping video for the single stamp. You can see that on my other hand right now. So please check that one out if you haven't watched it and you want to know how to get a good, solid base coat and mani for your designs. Again, I only had to use one coat of this. And then what we're going to do is start the actual stamping process. I'm making sure there's nothing on my cuticles. This is not Queen latex. This is a mix of what was left in my Queen bottle and the Halloween latex. Somebody asked me the other day how I liked it. Look at my brush. My brush is skanky. It needs a scrub. I have not tried to clean that out yet. That is the only negative thing I have to say about the Halloween latex, is it seems to gunk up my brush really quick and really thick. But I do like it for nail art. I like it very much. It does not have a funky smell to it. It dries quick, and although it does work for the polish, I feel like it comes off the skin a little bit easier too. So the Halloween thing that I recommended, you can get it at Walmart around Halloween time. Amazon has it. It's about $8 for a huge bottle, whereas that original from Queen is $8 for that little bottle. So thrifty wise, I do recommend you look on Amazon or someplace for some liquid latex. Although I do like the Queen one as well. Okay, now we're stamping here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to create shadows with this design. This is what double stamping, I call this double stamping. Somebody else may call it layered stamping, okay? To me, this is a double stamp. You stamp down a darker color in the background to use as a shadow, and then we'll go back in and add a lighter color on top of it, and it gives it depth and changes the design just a little bit. So all of this that you see right now is me stamping real time. I'm not editing clips through here. I'm not cutting stuff out. When you see my hand disappear, I'm tapping off on a lint roller to clean off anything I don't want to accidentally get on my nail that I might have picked up from an image next to it. Also note the placement on each of those nails. See how there's kind of an M right in the middle of my nail? Near the cuticle area. I'm doing that on purpose so that I can line it up and I'll know, okay, this section right here is where I'm gonna have to overlap later. It helps me keep everything straight and the design in a certain order so that it will help me in the future when I go to do the next layer on there. So you can see I'm working pretty fast. I think I'm going to do a video just for fun one day to see, once I got a base coat on, how fast could I actually stamp my nails. If you want to see that, let me know. I think it would be hilarious. I'm betting I could stamp all 5 fingers in 45 seconds or less. If we just did a single stamp, I think I could do it in 45 seconds. You got to tell me, what do you think? Do you want to see it? It'll be fun. Maybe I'll do it on a Sunday or something just as an extra video. Okay, we're still continuing. All 5 fingers need this. Now, when I do this, all 5 fingers with the same design, I'm doing it more to show you the technique than because that's how I prefer the designs, right? So you can do this on one nail in a set, and we are going to have in this series a section on ways to design nail art and change things up and make it so that if you want to do every nail the same way, sure, go ahead, do it. But what if you want to do something fun? What if you want to do some more, air quote, Instagram style nails, right? Now this is where we're going in. We've picked up the lighter color image. This is Greyjoy. The darker color is called Stormcloud. So we're going in with Greyjoy. We're going to line it up exactly and then off center it just a teeny tiny bit. Doesn't really matter what direction you do it in, whatever floats your boat. But you see how now it looks like a much more intricate design? It's just from what we call a double stamp. You're stamping one stamp on top of another stamp. There are some people, again, who might call this layering. To me, layering is like if I stamped something different in the background and then stamped another image on top of it. To me, that's a layer. Or, you know, clear jelly plates, something like that. Those are layered stamping plates to me. My last manicure could have had a layer on it, but I chose not to. So, you know, you got to kind of play with it. For me, I call this a double. If you're using the exact same image twice in a row for a shadow effect, I call that a double stamp. Again, we're going to line this up, and I'm using those M's. If you look on my ring finger right now, you can see how there's kind of a point right in the center of my nail where the dip down for the diamond is. I did that on all the nails. That way I can go and find that on my stamp, line it up, off center it just a tiny bit, stamp it down. Now you have your shadow effect. I hope this makes sense. And what's really fun about this too is if you want to get super crazy and this is the design you want, right? You want to go nuts with it. You're like, I'm gonna shadow the crap out of these nails, right? You can do your first stamp, let that one dry, put a top coat on, let the top coat dry, put another top coat on, and you can put as many on as you want. And the more you do, the more it will kind of separate the layers. So it almost looks like you're looking down through 2 different layers. It's a really neat effect. It's very hard to show it on camera, but in person it looks super cool. Especially if you do something like this where it's just set off a little bit. You just have to decide how often or how much time you want to spend letting the nail polish layers dry. Because you do have to let them dry completely. If you do not, you will get bubbles in your polish. Because the bottom layers will try to come through and you'll end up with bubbles. Trust me. I'm an expert on the bubbles. I get them quite often when I get impatient, and I never get them if I'm taking my time and kind of watching TV or Netflix or something while I'm doing my nails. Just kind of sitting back there. Right now I've been watching Call the Midwife. Have y'all watched that? I never watched it because I've had fertility problems. We've talked about that in my PCOS video. So when it first came out, it was a little much for me still to watch it. But now that I'm watching it, I love it. I feel like it makes me much more in touch with other women who have had issues. It's and makes you happy and sometimes sad at the same time. It's a great show. I love it. Okay, we've double stamped all of these nails. Do you see how deep they look in there? And I'm just going through and taking off the latex. There's a 50 Shades of Jill's finger. What is that? Why? I don't understand why it's doing that. Okay, I'm going to go in with a cleanup brush. And this is just an e.l.f. brush that I got a long time ago for like $1. You just put a very small amount of acetone on it. And you go in to clean up around those edges. If you have any little frayed parts that are sticking up on your nail, all you have to do is barely touch them with acetone and those will melt down and go away. So when you see people like, oh, I'm doing cleanup, but you don't see them melting that stuff down, sure, you can also do the skip polish off your skin, but this is really good for those little frayed edges that might be sticking around. Want to make sure everything's cleaned up nice and neat. And again, Topcoat. Topcoat is your friend. I use Topcoat a lot. I go through a lot of Topcoat. The reason why, if you make a mistake and you've top coated, you can go in with acetone on that cleanup brush and usually you can erase your mistake, fix it, put another layer of top coat on, and it never shows up. Speaking of fun stuff, I don't think I told you this at the beginning of the video. I'm going to show you what one of my nail related Christmas presents was at the very end of this video, so make sure you stick around after the final picture and check that out because it's super fun and I'm really enjoying it. So here's what everything looks like double stamped. You've got a single stamp on your right, a double stamp on your left. And stupid me forgot to put cuticle oil on. Do not forget your cuticle oil, otherwise you look like this crusty nonsense. But it is what it is. I forgot. By the time I realized I forgot, I had already taken off that lip. So thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I know I was talking about a bunch of other stuff during it, but at the end of the day, you're just stamping twice on top of your nails. Check it out. I got a nail polish shaker. Nail polish shaker. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I could sit there for hours and do this. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have questions below. Let me know if there's something you'd like me to add to the series. This series may take a couple months. It may take 3 months. I don't know. Because I'm going to put some other nail art stuff in there too while I'm doing it. So if you have questions, if there's something you don't understand how to do, if I was not clear on something while I explained it in this video, please let me know below. Leave me a comment. I answer all of them from everybody. And thank you so much for being here. You can click on a video or one of the videos on the right side now to watch another one. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.